Hey everyone, I'm Shay Finney and I'm doing an experiment on Enviroscapes with my students. We're talking about our watershed unit and really paying attention to how we all live downstream and all of the different things that we do in our neighborhoods and communities have an impact on our waterways. We're also going to come up with some different solutions and talk about some prevention strategies for making things better for the future. Thank you. So we started our experiment on weather last time. And we spent some time talking about the weather. We're actually going to spend a little bit more time talking about weather and what happens naturally when it rains. So this is an Enviroscape. It's basically modeling a watershed. Does anybody know what a watershed is? It is not a shed that holds water. Does anybody know what a watershed is? Braden, I saw your hand first.
A watershed is a big tower that holds water.
No, it is not. We just said that's not what it is. Does anyone know what a watershed is? Santiana?
A watershed, it kind of controls like the water system, like it's kind of it seems to show itself.
It controls the water system because of what?
Like it controls the water system, like kind of your sinks and showers running and stuff.
It has to do with your sinks and showers. Nope. Beth, give it one more try and then I'll tell you.
It's water that picks up stuff and then flows into the Chesapeake Bay.
Water that picks up stuff and flows into the Chesapeake Bay is right on the money. Najee, can you shut the door, please? A watershed is all of the land. Hold on. A watershed is all of the land on which, when it rains, it's going to flow on top of. So we have an example of a watershed right here. Some things you probably have noticed are there's a farm. I know it's a farm because there's a field, there's a barn, there's some cows. I see a neighborhood. I know it's a neighborhood because there's houses, driveways, and cars. I see a construction site. I know it's a construction site because I have a dump truck and a guy digging up some dirt. Over here I have a factory. I know it's a factory because it's a large parking lot and there's a big building. I also see a small golf course. I know it's a golf course because it has a flag. Okay, so when it's your turn, you'll come up and interact with these different materials. Or I've tried to make this as big as I can on the screen. So you'll come up, you'll see it here, you'll see it there. Thumbs? All right, so let's start by taking a look at our sheet. That's what we're going to be filling out this whole time. Some of it is going to be new, and so I might tell you some of the information. Some of it you may be able to connect the dots and figure out. So let's start on page 18. It says, define the following terms: tributary, divide, watershed. Tributary and divides are on the 6th grade science SOL. We're just going to fill in the watershed. So a watershed is all the land where water flows. That's it. All the land where water flows. That's a watershed. So at the top where it says watershed, we can write that down. All the land where water flows. There we go. All the land where water flows. That's a watershed. So the materials that we need. Are we ready? Great. The materials that we need. We need an Enviroscape. Ta-da! We need water. Ta-da! We need a water bottle. Ta-da! We need cocoa powder. So that's this one. And we're going to write down that the cocoa powder represents soil. So next to where it says cocoa powder, we're going to put that it's soil. If you want to put dirt, sure, soil is dirt. Soil. Cocoa powder is soil. Yep, we're going to go in order. We're not going to skip around. Nope, it says cocoa powder, soil. Up here, cocoa powder is soil. Right there. Soil. Soil. Up here. Soil. Yep. Okay. So our cocoa powder is going to represent our soil. Then we've got green Kool-Aid. Our green Kool-Aid is going to represent something that we use on farms and on land. So we'll put cocoa powder. Is our soil. Our green Kool-Aid, that's going to be our herbicide. I'm sorry, no it's not. I'm thinking too far ahead. That's going to represent our fertilizer. So our green Kool-Aid is going to be our fertilizer. Our red Kool-Aid, that's going to represent pesticides and herbicide for this experiment. The next thing we have is our cocoa and water mixture. What is that supposed to represent? What does it say? Sludge. There you go. It says sludge. That's the answer. All right. So our cocoa mixture is our sludge. Sludge is like chemicals, waste, stuff like that. Okay. And then the last one says our felt strips and our sponges. We're not going to put those down. Those are riparian buffers, which we'll talk about in 6th grade. So if we have time, or maybe tomorrow, we can talk about those, okay? Okay. Thumbs up if you're finished writing down what everything represents and you're ready to start messing with our Enviroscape. Okay. So right now, at the end of our system, we've got a beautiful, clean bay. What's a bay? A bay is going to be an area of water that's semi-enclosed, meaning one side's going to be opened up to maybe the ocean, and then the other side might have some rivers and fresh water. So it's going to have some mixed up water. We call it brackish water. And right now it's pretty clean. Do you think there's animals and plants that might be living here? Yeah. Absolutely. And it's next to this lovely area or community where people are interacting. And one thing that we know is when people are around, sometimes harmful things can happen to the environment. So we're going to use some things in our activities to discuss it. All right, everybody point to scenario 1A, the farm. We're going to start off in the farm. Where is it? It's right over here. That's our farm. And it says, use the black container with pea or powder to sprinkle cocoa powder over the plowed farm field. All right, Chloe with a C, you're up first. Sprinkle it all over the farm field. Yes, that's the farm. Go for it. What's that supposed to represent? Dirt, soil. All right. And she's going to pick someone to spray. Hold on. She's going to pick someone to spray the water bottle over the farmland. Put your hands down. It says, what does this simulate? What do you think this is going to represent, spraying? What do you think? Rain. Chloe, pick someone to make it rain. Rainstorm. Big rainstorm. Do you think all the soil is staying there? No. Does it look like it's staying there? No. No, you can kind of see right over here that it's ending up going where? It's ending up moving right on down into our waterways. Thank you. All right, so on that first line where it says, what does this simulate? Write rain above number 1. Write rain up there, above number 1. Yep, above number 1, rain. Okay? Above number 1, write rain. So now that we've added our soil and we've made it rain, it says, what do you observe happens when the student simulates rain by spraying a water bottle? What happened? You can see it very well right here. You see it? What's happening? Kyron.
The dirt went into the water.
Very good. Write that down next to number 1. The dirt went into the water. Dirt moves into the water. I want you to use your own phrasing and language. That's what happened. That's what we can see. The dirt moved into the water. And number 2, how does that soil affect the waterways? I mean, who cares? It's just dirt. Should that be a problem?
Yes.
Gabby F.
I don't think it would be a big problem.
I mean, some dirt's probably not a problem, but that was a lot of dirt.
Yeah, it's polluting.
So why is that a problem? What's going to be the effect?
Maybe some fish will die off and stuff. And the water.
Why would fish die? She's right. But why would fish die? Because the water is dirty. Pick someone to help you out.
Ashley.
Because it's not clear fresh water anymore.
So because it's not clear, what's the problem?
Water for fish is like breathing oxygen for us.
Okay, so she's saying something like maybe the dirt's going to get trapped in their gills and they're going to struggle. Okay, it's actually a little bit different. So I'll paint a picture. In the water that's clear, something's able to shine through. What can shine through? Tell me. Sunlight. And what needs sunlight in order to grow? Plants. So if the water gets dirty and the sunlight can't shine through, the plants are going to die. Who needs those plants? The fish and the organisms that live there. It's their habitat, or that eat those plants. So that's the big problem that we'll write down for number 2. Say, sunlight can't shine through dirty water. That's the problem. If the sunlight can't shine through, then everything else is going to get affected. All food webs and food chains start with the sun. There's a special test we do on our field trip that has to do with the dirty water. It's called turbidity. All right, we're still on the farm for 1B. 1B says, oh, I'm sorry, do you need more time? Yes. No, yes, thumbs, time. No time. Okay, number 3 says, oh, sorry, it says procedure. Now take the black container with the green and sprinkle the green Kool-Aid on the farm. What was the green Kool-Aid again? Fertilizer. What does fertilizer do? You're still in charge. You're still student.
It helps plants grow.
Helps plants grow. What a good thing. Who do you want to put the green fertilizer on the farm? Chloe with a K. On the farm. Yep. Green. Oh, that's so nice. Here we go. And simulate rain. Pick someone else. Can you keep picking people, or would you like me to pick a new picker? Okay. Najee, be the new picker. Come up and make it rain. And rain. Yes. There you go. Ooh, some flooding happening. It's definitely not staying there. It is moving around. Over here too, over here too. Yeah. There we go. Just gross. And, oh, back up. Check out your water, folks. Check out your water, folks. Thank you, Najee. Let's look at number 3. What impact would the green fertilizer have on the river? I mean, fertilizer is good, right? It helps plants grow, right? Najee, pick someone to tell us, what's that fertilizer going to do once it gets in the water?
It's gonna have like almost the same. It's gonna have almost the same result as when you put dirt in the water.
It's going to make the water dirty? No.
No, it's gonna affect like the life living in it.
How?
Like it could affect like maybe the plants.
How will it affect the plants? You're right. It's going to affect the plants. What does fertilizer do? It helps plants grow. So why is that a problem? Santiana?
Too much of it could get bad.
Too much of it is going to get bad. Have you ever heard of too much of a good thing? Yes. What's going to happen is algae. If you have a pool or know someone that has a pool, or even some of your fish tanks, you might see some of that little green stuff growing. And what happens is that fertilizer will feed that algae. But algae grows quickly and dies quickly. And when things die, bacteria comes in. So that's what we're going to put down as our problem for number 3. It says, what impact is that fertilizer going to have? We're going to have algal blooms and increased bacteria. Bacteria lives off of those dead things. So as soon as that bacteria starts to find those dead plants, it's going to increase. Do you think it's going to be safe for humans to go play in that water?
No.
Is it going to be safe for the fish with all that extra bacteria? What about the humans that eat the fish? No. So number 4 is the solution, because you guys are the future. Number 4 says, what are some ways that humans could reduce this? I mean, look at that water. It's dirty. It's full of fertilizer. What could people do to help fix it? Turn and talk. 2 things. I heard one big thing that someone said. Oysters. What are oysters going to do? Purify. They're going to filter out that water. So we can say oysters will filter or clean the water. That's one solution. What else? Anybody have anything else besides oysters? Brayden?
I'm thinking
Yes. Yes.
Maybe instead of growing it outside, we can grow it like inside of whatever plants are growing and fertilize it. So it won't really, when it rains, it won't spread to the water.
So, like indoor farm? Like greenhouses?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, so maybe farmers could have more greenhouses. Okay, we can put that as a solution. Last year, a student said, the farmer's the problem. They plowed the field down into the water. Why don't you just plow it the other way? So it's got like a mountain on the side. Would that work? Yeah, someone last year said they need to put a better fence, right? This fence, everything's going to go through, but if they built a wall, maybe the water wouldn't have to go down there, right? Okay, so there's some other solutions we could talk about as well. Let's move on to, where are we going? 2A, the industrial plant. It says find the industrial plant. It has the parking lot next to it and squirt the oil sludge into the top of the plant. Najee, who do you want? Ron, come on down. Where's the industrial plant? Find it? Nope. Next to the parking lot. Parking lot. There you go. And squirt the sludge into the top. Yep, go for it. Keep going. Oh, gross. Oh, just horrible. Just, I mean, come on. Just disgusting. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. So let's talk about it. Number 5. Are industrial plants, factories, are they allowed to just pollute the river with their waste? No. So the first answer to number 5 is no, right? No. The second part says, what must all plants have in order to use the river water? So if they're saying we're going to use this river, what do you think they need to have in place? The scissors away. Yes, Bree.
If they're gonna use the water, they should at least build a wall for the good, for all the fishes to live on the good side, to where they won't hurt anything or hurt our environment, because it's already terrible right now.
Okay. So they're not going to build a wall, but they do have to have a filter. Does anybody have filters at their house, like a Brita filter or a filter in your fridge, right? Or one on your tap, right, for your sink water? Yeah. So wouldn't it be safer if they just had a sponge or a filter that would trap some of that dirt and some of that sludge? Yeah. So we're going to put next to number 5, no, they have to have a filter system or a cleaning system. They have to have some type of system in place, so it's not just going to be super, super gross. No. A cleaning system. They have to have some type of a cleaning system or a filtering system. Because that is just not cute. 2B, we're still at the industrial plant. It says now we need to take our oil and squirt it onto the parking lot. All right, Najee, who do you want? Jordan. On the parking lot. Parking lot over there. Parking lot. It's the one with the parking spaces. Yep, just lots of oil. All over the parking lot. Just horrible. All over the parking lot. There you go. Just everywhere. There you go. And someone else is going to come up and make it rain. Make it rain. On the parking lot. Oh, just gross. So he's saying it's cleaning it. So when it rains, are the oil spills in the parking lot getting cleaned? Or do they have to go somewhere? Have to go somewhere. And you can see it going off into this grass, down this waterway. Thank you, sir. Let's move on to number 6. It says it's a solution. How can people who drive cars reduce the amount of oil that ends up in our storm drains and ends up in our streams? Najee is picking. How can people that drive cars reduce it? People like me, I drive a car.
You could build cars that have less gas.
There you go. Electric cars. So instead of using oil, we could come up with newer technology so that cars are going to be less damaging. Anything else? Is your hand up? Oh, okay. Yes.
Like this thing we have in our house, it has like the energy from the sun. Maybe they can start like
solar cars. Okay, so electric cars, solar cars. Ride bikes?
Yeah.
Right? Walk. Take the bus. Carpool. Drive together, right? Yeah. Aren't those solutions? So using less vehicles is going to have less damage, right? All right. Last year someone said, just get your car fixed. They were like, my neighbor, they kept having oil spills in their driveway until they finally got their car fixed and it made less of a problem. Sure. All right, let's move on to 3B. We're at the golf course.
Yeah, and the neighborhood.
And the neighborhood. It says, sprinkle the pesticide over the golf course and neighborhood. Pause. Hands down. What is pesticide? Oh, Najee's still in charge. What is pesticide?
Things that kill bugs.
Things that kill bugs, pests, right? So we're going to put on some pesticides into the neighborhood and the golf course.
Gabby F.
Pause. Where's the neighborhood? Yep, and the golf course. There you go. So all over here. Yes. We don't want any bugs. We don't want mosquitoes. Oh, terrible. We don't want any of those little critters running around. Just an inconvenience.
No spiders.
Yes, spiders. Oh my goodness. Don't want any of those.
I hate spiders.
And to make it rain,
Braden.
make it rain.
Wow. Ooh, this one's good now. Look, it's leaking. It's going everywhere.
I hear you. It's going everywhere. So is the solution, let's stop making rain? No, the rain is beneficial. We need the rain.
It's going in there. It's going to the water.
It's going to the water.
Yeah, keep going. Good.
Keep it here, right?
Keep going, honey.
Just keep going to the pit stop.
Because the more water you get, the more times it will go to the water.
Yeah, we can fill the water.
Yeah, it would do what?
Wait, it wasn't going to the tunnel. That's a mistake.
Number 7. What do golf courses do to prevent or stop their super nice grass from turning brown or being eaten by insects? What do? Taylor, put this away, please.
Great.
What they do is, to start off, they'll fertilize the grass after a giant storm. They'll fertilize it, cut it down if anything needed to be cut.
Brayden, before we start adding in other things, what did you just see happen? What did they put onto the golf course?
Fertilizer.
They didn't use fertilizer. Try again or ask for help.
They use pesticide or herbicide?
There we go. They use pesticides. And we know that pesticides are the ones that kills pests, bugs and things like that. So what's herbicides? What are herbicides? We talked this morning about an herbivore eats plants. So what's an herbicide?
I guess ash.
It keeps the fertilizer that will eat the grass.
No, it's actually going, so pesticides kill pests. That means herbicides kill plants. Like weeds, dandelions, stuff that you don't want in your yard because it doesn't make your yard look good. So, what's going to happen? So number 7, we said, what do? They use herbicides and pesticides. What about number 8? What happens when it rains? What happens to those pesticides and herbicides?
Jack.
They die.
When it rains, they die?
Oh, when it rains, like all this stuff like spreads all over.
It spreads everywhere. It ends up in our waterways. It spreads into our waterways. It spreads into our waterways. So how do those pesticides and herbicides affect a river or a lake? I mean, who cares? It just looks red now, right? No, I heard someone say it looked like blood.
Yeah.
So wait, if it's killing bugs and killing pests and killing plants, it's going to kill the fish, it's going to kill the seagrasses, it's going to kill the oysters. Yeah. So 9, it kills plants and animals in the water. So in our waterways, in our rivers, it's going to kill them too. Are the pesticides going to be like, you know what? My job was to kill those spiders, but now that I'm in this water, I'm not going to hurt these fish. Can they think and decide? They can't control that. They're just going to kill everything, unfortunately. So now we have, is your hand up now? What's up?
I was about to ask, can I get something else?
Not right this second, but in a moment, sure. Okay, so number 10. What are some things city officials, the people in charge, should consider when making changes that affect the watershed? What are some things they should be thinking or planning?
Maybe they should maybe use some less fertilizer and pesticides.
Use less fertilizers, use less pesticides, use less chemicals. What do we think? Yeah. I mean, even using less is going to be a solution because some people are going to say, no, I want my yard to look beautiful. Or no, I want to use these things that make the golf course look presentable. Or I want to keep leaving my car the way it is. I've always had this car. But if city officials change the law, if they make it a decision that affects everyone, do you think things will be better for you guys? I mean, you're the ones that are going to be left these waterways, these rivers. Do you remember a few years ago when some of the beaches were shut down? Yeah. It's because our water was like this. Would you want to live in this water? No. So when the water gets shut down and we can't go to the beach, we say, all right, we'll go to water country or do something else. What do the fish do? They die. Can they just travel somewhere else? No. Maybe that's the only home that they have. So they can't go anywhere else. So they can die or they may not survive. And then what can happen if their entire population dies? They become extinct. So it's very important for us to take care of our waterways because this is not working. There's some other things on here. Like right here, they have cows kind of playing in the water. Is that a problem? No. Yeah, cows are gross, right? If they're playing and pooping and all kinds of stuff in the water, that's going to end up down here as well. Shouldn't we take this fence and put it over here? Yeah. So one of the next activities was for us to try to make some solutions, to go back and fix some things. If you were in charge of building this community, would you want to make some changes? Yeah. So would I. So that's the next part of our activity, but we're coming to a close at this point. So does anyone have anything they can tell me that they've learned about the watershed and how we need to be responsible for it? You're picking.
Santiana? I was going to say we learned that the more chemicals can hurt more things in the water, and also one thing that the fish could do when there's things in there, since we could just go somewhere else, they could move to other oceans, but they wouldn't have the same habitat they're used to and stuff. And that would still be more of a problem. So
Santiana's saying the solution is, well, maybe they could move to a new place or move to a new location. But is that going to be possible for every organism? No. Remember we talked about the invasive species? They were like, let's take these over here and put them here, and it caused lots of problems. So I think instead of saying, fish, I know we polluted your water, now it's your responsibility to move somewhere else. Shouldn't we be accountable and we make our fixes? Yes. All right. We can close up and put it away. I'm so glad you were able to take some information from this. We're going to spend some more time talking about watersheds and our different water bodies as well. You may take a 5-minute break.